say it, and of course, my opinions here are going to be a little bit biased. So we're talking about my family, we're so deeply ingrained. So I have views based on the relationship I have with my family. And, obviously there's a plethora of information and speculation, but everything I tell you is basically either straight from those words or experienced it because of the people that came and visited us growing up, or, we all go to dinner with some of these folks who've seen the history books, like that thing. So it was more of I'm not a investigator or, that kind of thing. My job wasn't going to go out there and try to do that. It was just a living story. And back to the story, they said they picked the right man for the job. He was that right person at the right time that could determine, he obviously doesn't tell himself, so he's familiar with everything we had that flew. And speculate, if something else was here, somehow not here, we don't know what it would be, then he would be the kind of person who could take a quick look at it, determine, okay, we need to come in, contain this, and kind of get an idea what it would be. And what I always thought was interesting, which always surprised me, is he goes out in this field and sees all this debris. And it's strange, what it was made up of. But while I was there, in about 5 minutes of him looking at all this debris in the field, he said this was not made by human hands. That whatever this was, he determined quickly enough, for whatever reason, that this stuff was not an airplane. Didn't have any technology to recognize it, of course. And here's somebody, a well-decorated intelligence officer, very intelligent by esteem, and he thought that whatever this was, and like I said, he was sure it was something somewhere else. He diverted on the way home and showed my father and his wife, over my grandmother Beale and Jesse Marcel Jr. at that point. And he went to his house, which is Roswell, spread the debris out on the floor, then woke my father and his wife up and said, come take a look at this. And my father, he gets up and rubs his eyes out and he's looking at the stuff and like, Dad, what's this garbage all over the floor? And he comes out and he says, I want you to do me a favor. Take a look at this stuff and see if you can fit anything together. Does it look like a puzzle? The different kinds of put together. But more importantly, can you find shoes? At the time, technology, transistors and exist, that kind of thing. So little glass tubes, that kind of thing. Of course, my grandfather knew, he'd look at it himself, but you just tell me what you think about what you see here. And they looked at it and couldn't make heads or tails. And my grandfather told my father, he said, I think this is part of a flying saucer. And my dad was a flying saucer. That term really didn't exist at that point. Kenneth Arnold, a little before then, kind of coined that term just recently about Washington. He saw some strange things. And so my grandfather was there looking through things. Well, it was 20 minutes looking through the debris. And my father and his wife was just sitting in the back saying, yes, you made a mess in my kitchen. That was her place, the whole thing. And so they're going through it. My dad was not to see anything, no wires, connectors, tubes, anything at all. That kind of thing. He was like, this kind of said he was still kind of confused about why he was even being shown this stuff. And he did take a little piece of debris and for a closer look and held that to a light over the singer, just a little light. The singer, this is about 12 height. And he's looking at it, it's a little beam, a light, it's a nice cross-section beam, and it's interesting, I don't know what this is. And he looked at it and started angling it, and he said, all of a sudden, almost like holograms, some symbols showed up, which were very interesting. And my grandfather told me, he said, well, son, I think you're the first person to look at this alien language. And it was really that statement that meant enough to my father that he realized the significance of what he was part of. Realizing that, oh my goodness, this is obviously something else. And these kind of stories, at the time, people didn't talk about flying saucers, especially because it was kind of new at that point. Or, even, alien life, you're just coming out of a war, there's a lot more pressing issues. But this comes along and totally throws everything off. Well, within about 20 minutes, my grandfather goes back in, puts the material in a box, puts it in the back of his car, and heads back to the base. My father's story as he goes inside said, I don't really remember him coming back that night. But he said when he did come back, he was back for a short time and was kind of put on the leave and for about a month. But my father's life at that point had been forever changed. He had looked at this material, and he had kind of come to the conclusion that whatever this was, he literally was one of the first people here to ever hold something that was made somewhere else. And it affected, I almost think that it affected my father more than my grandfather. On my grandfather's side, like on a personal note. We spend the summers down there. We all live in Helena, Montana. We go down to see him. I remember the story where this time, and my grandfather, that's the story. You know, just and we've been fishing all morning. Went out there. And we went out there, got some food and got some wine. And I kind of sat on the couch, and he's all of a sudden crying. Very upset. Yeah. But some people look at these things like grandpa's involvement as well as all these questions put on it. Like that poor guy, it's all about, you know, what he had to hide this thing, had to grow up the story. The reality of it was that he was actually proud of the story. He liked the story. He thinks that it was amazing. What's the chances that as a human being on Earth, you know, out of billions of people, he was the one that was out there. So it wasn't so much that he was, you know, like I said, he thought it was more of a gift in a way that he was being part of it. And it was that war, the war of father. It was what happened when he was involved. That's what was the question. But the actual story of Roswell, the next, I think, like I said, we talked about it at great lengths when we were fishing. Like I said, he enjoyed the story. He would always tell me parts of it. And what was interesting, he would when we're getting too deep, he'd wink at me and say, "There's so much more I can't tell you." And a lot of our conversations ended with things that way. But of course, I was able to glean certain information. He was, you know, willing to talk a little more freely than he was to the press and that kind of thing. But in those stories, my father, you know, he became a medical doctor and very well respected. He eventually became a colonel in the military. But through this whole process, he kept very close to Roswell and what it meant to him. Not so much, you know, obviously, we can go through the story. Different kinds of debris. There was a lot of people have heard of memory metal. That's not something somebody coined that somewhere. I have a background in science and engineering myself, but if I was to look at that, I'd look at it as something that we're just starting to get into. People, it's almost cliche, but quantum physics, particles, waves, how they relate, how we interpret things, determines the outcome of how matter is made up. This metal, if you will, I believe was closer to, it could be both like a liquid and a solid, depending on what its needs were. If it needed to be a liquid, it'd become a liquid. If it needed to be a solid, it'd be a solid. So you can imagine the spaceship going through space. You know, there's little bits of debris, whatever is out there, it would absolutely destroy a ship. You know, moving fast enough to get from point A to point B, whatever it was, any particular matter would just destroy it. But if you could have a skin on a ship, that if it was hit by something, it could literally be passed through or maybe pushed along the side. It could be, there actually could be a purpose for a metal like that to be able to absorb the energy or pass through the energy of matter sitting up there or whatever we're having. So on my side, that's kind of how I thought of. So it's more closer. It's almost like what's the old series, you know, about the metal man kind of thing. That's actually might be a little closer, a better way to put it, rather than, you know, I think it's trying most metal, you can pull it up and crease it in your hand and you know, ball it up, and it becomes flat and smooth, or nice and smooth and flat. But it's almost like a transition between a solid, as you're crimping it up, and a liquid as it goes back to its form, and then a solid again, and it's perfect. And so it's very strange, it's interesting, because we still don't have anything like that. We're getting closer on some items. Other items out in the debris field were these I-beams. They vary in length between, say, 4 inches and over 4 feet. They're all broken off at the ends. Right? So they're scattered all over the place, And then there was also a lot of like a black plastic, and you know, speculation was kind of an insulator. It'd protect the occupants, however that might be. Whatever this is, typically, if you can envision a ship, you're going to have something that collects energy of some kind that can be utilized and pushed through space. And if the occupants are too close to that part of the ship that creates energy, then maybe life couldn't exist in that situation. It's kind of separated by something non-metal. Of course, I'm using our science this time to describe that. This is could be 1,000 years more advanced than I can talk about this. But in my own simple ideas, that was like a boom. This separated a collection of discs, so to speak, kind of like we see what might be a UFO up there. is at the bottom of the disc that collects energy, and the optical section is held away by a kind of plastic or something. So there's this black plastic all over the place. And it intermixes through all of that with miles and miles of like of optical fiber. Just glass like we have here, but it had a coating on it. Kind of interesting about that is that, and I'm not the only person who said this before, but it's that up till July of 1947, we couldn't use glass to transfer information, not effectively. The Romans used light through water to pass light energy, things to light balloon crafts. But at that point, we couldn't pass digital information through these glass. But after 1947, somebody found out you could coating on the glass fiber, you could pass information through it. Again, could be pure coincidence, but it might not be. It might be somebody thought, well, that works. Maybe we can try here, but it won't anyway. So that as far as so that those are the kinds of debris that were found in the original crash site number 1, and that's the one my father was most familiar with and wants to talk about. So back at home, he's seen all this stuff. Kid is grandfather comes home and tells him basically, you've seen things, and I've talked about things you can't talk about again. You're done. What I told you, what you've seen, you have. This is not you. Don't tell your friends, anybody. And basically said that this is military, and you basically it was a very important thing. And there's a different psychology at the time back in the 40s and the rest of the day, but it was basically if you told you not to say anything, you simply didn't say anything. And my father, although his life was guided by Roswell, he went through school, like I said, became a medical doctor at the wishes of his dad. In all honesty, my father wanted to be a physicist. Parent wanted to be a doctor, so became a doctor, but always stayed with a physicist's mind. Growing up, how I was interested in stories, he would talk about, these big 2001 Space Odyssey, that kind of thing. I was kind of indoctrinated into science fiction. And we watched these, watched this, and he was kind of explaining to me about what was going on. And he said, there might be some reality in what you're seeing here. So this is a fictional story, but let me tell you something your grandfather was involved with. And at that point, he kind of told me a little about the fringes about what was going on. Of course, I had other questions. And he didn't tell me anything that would scare a child, perhaps. But enough, so I gleaned, and I the story was who my grandfather really was. And like almost, that's the kind of age I started going back. I was 7 or 8 years old, started going back and forth to Oklahoma, Louisiana, where my grandparents were. And I learned more and more about the story. And as I go over 10 or 11, it got to the point with my family that we'd always remember Sunday night dinner. We'd always be sitting around a table, and we'd always be watching Star Trek and talking about Roswell. And it was such a natural thing. Like I always envisioned another boy eating dinner with his family on some table somewhere. It was never bewildering or I was never scared. It was always almost like a comforting thought. And that's kind of how we grew up in the story. Same with my brother and sister. That it was never a negative or a Star Wars kind of idea. I mean, we all kind of grew up with the Star Wars and the rest of that thing. But at the end of the day, we always felt like it was whatever was fighting, it was benevolent. It was not. It was scientist. It was not about coming here to take us over or take our resources or whatever have you. But it's part of where I have to say who I am today was because of my father, the way I think and that kind of thing. First of all, as a scientist, he was brilliant. Like I brag about him. One day he walks in the back door, basement, and we live almost a neighborhood down there. With a plastic over his shoulder. I was like, oh, what's Dad up to now? He starts digging a hole. And within about 2 months, he built an observatory, biggest telescope in Montana. And his purpose, and he kind of told us about what he was after, is he wanted to find more of what he saw when he was a kid. So he built this big telescope. And what's interesting is kind of an aside about the man himself is like, he'd have me sit there with little glass tubes, little green glass tubes. I didn't know at first. So he got around each one 100 times his wire. I thought, okay, so something to do. So we did that over and over and over again for thousands of them. And he made a bit of a grid. And he said, this is what I'm doing with it. And he created the very first computer to guide the telescope. Always seemed something cool. And he did it, and it worked. Literally, I mean, God's far more complex today, but pegs in a board, like if I want to look at Saturn, he get the telescope pointing to Saturn, and then he programmed the computer, so it knew where the computer had to. And it's more than, I mean, he had the position, the time of the day, the time of the year, and he was able to program that through relays, which we used in the last tubes, in this computer system. And I thought that was before AIMS existed. And they go on this way. Another thing was a telescope made by, it was in Florida. And at the time it was the world's largest telescope. And they were having problems with it. And they, I'm not quite sure how to ask my father, but he said depending on the time of the day, it was going to go out of focus. And brilliant scientists, early as the day, have everything tested to the nth degree. But nobody could figure out why it would go off focus. And my dad said, I walked in the room and I went back out. And he said, what's going on? Telescope. And he said he sat in a room with a very smart people. He said, well, there's rubber rings between your pieces and they're expanding and contracting. I mean, it seems obvious now, but it was obvious to nobody. And literally, what people have worked on for months to solve a problem, he fixed in 2 seconds. And that's the kind of things he was. In high school, I really enjoyed woodworking. And I built a nursery at my parents' house, actually. And I loved carving and ornate door fences. A very brilliant man was a friend of my father. We always had brilliant people over the house. It was a normal atmosphere growing up. And he pulled me aside and said that but this man I thought was an absolute genius. He was converting energy into steam and coal into steam and energy. This was back in the 70s, long before technology today. They were trying to perfect it. But he said, your dad is the most brilliant man I've ever met. I thought, well, that's interesting. I've never heard that. But coming from somebody like that, it kind of occurred to me in the club that he ran in, some of the most brilliant minds in the world, and they went to the top of it. And that obviously gave me a certain respect for it, when I realized that one of his greatest gifts to people and the kids, it was being able to take the most complex scientific idea or concept and break it down so a school child could understand it. And he did a very good job. That's kind of, like I said, how I grew up. Is he was able to take string theory, talk about creationism, how was life, the idea of matter creating the universe with absolutely nothing. And he credited the idea of a God or creator strumming a string. And the vibration of string pulled apart nothingness to a positive and negative side, and voila, we have matter that was done before. And that's kind of that's a great school. That's how it started us out and kind of taught us about the three steps of the universe and energy and how things kind of came together. And again, back to the telescope. So my father was he was always searching for something. And he wasn't looking for proof. He was looking for, whatever he expected to find by looking up. He wanted to see if he knew there was more out there than what we that most people seem to. But he spent most of his life basically just looking for evidence, looking for whatever that might be out there somewhere. And so he built this amazing telescope, and then on the weekends, school kids would come and drove. I had a fun house drove because every kid was always invited. Neighbor was always invited to the house. We always spend the weekends out looking at planets and stars or whatever. And he talked a little bit about Roswell, but it wasn't really overriding. It was never really an overriding subject in our family. It was in our family we talked about it, but again, it's one of those things. When we talked about it, we thought this is just kind of a common knowledge thing that people just talk about the stuff. So we didn't feel the need to bring it out in the world because we just thought it was there. And like I said, it was a normal dialogue. So it was kind of a unique childhood that our father brought us up into. And there's, as far as my father grew older, he was a military guy, went to San Diego, or was stationed in San Diego. He went through LSU medical school, started out in the Navy, ended up serving all the branches of the military, and where he was ended up being colonel. At 72 years old, he went to Iraq. He was a flight surgeon. So he had the sight him, which is interesting. There's a certain irony. Out here is a very respected military guy, where the military and the government were kind of in contradiction to Roswell, but he stood for Roswell, and he had the rank and the expertise and the fortitude to basically live in both worlds. And in this whole Roswell world, this whole idea of life and visitors to our world is, again, my little bias, but he was kind of that light that flowed through everything. He stuck to a story. He lives an incredible life. That it wasn't. When he said it, there was no reason why he wouldn't believe it, because everything he stood for, medicine and taking care of people, the Hippocratic Oath, he lived that. I mean, I remember this thing, like, you take care of people. If a kid didn't have shoes coming out, he'd have a new pair of shoes waiting for him. Excuse me. Anything very bad. But I guess the thing I want to impress upon people the most is this story of Roswell, there's so much more to it. It's like my family, obviously we're a big part of it, but we lived it. We grew up in it. We had no choice, for one thing. But it's part of us, and it's, there's detractors, there's, for and against, that kind of thing. But when you come from a place that I come from, and you grow up in it, and it's like, the story is as good as the people say it. And I guess that's where the basis where I come from, is that some very good people believe in us. And anyway, it's part of growing up Roswell, growing up this whole thing. And it's put, not only myself, but I have a brother and sister that grew up together in the house with my father. We lost our mother at a young age. But there's the three kids and my father, and it's like growing up in this, and after they're gone, it's kind of like we feel a certain need to carry the torch, honestly, like I said, I might get prejudiced. I'm not looking for the truth. I know the truth. Everything. I believe. I didn't hold it within myself, but I believe with the better was my grandfather believed what he did, what he touched, what he was involved in programs like I think until his death. But this was real. His father was the same thing. And he goes to that, and people ask, what proof do you have? Well, these guys. That's my proof. There's evidence out there. There's conflicting stories. There's, and I'm involved. I do research, and it's kind of become a need. I'm not out there trying to, I don't know what mission anything, but I'm not out there to report or do the latest whatever. What I do for me. And people say, well, can't I bet you, one of my father's last wishes was that the government would come out and say Roswell was real. And I never really understood that about that. It's like, I don't care if the government comes out and says it's real or not. It means nothing to me. It's like, they say things all the time, But the big thing is, I believe, it's like, my need to research is not so much to prove or disprove something, but to understand more of what I grew up with. And, in general, that's what I and my brother and sister are doing right now. We're out there, we're trying to find, it's been far enough away that from the original, the Roswell incident, that, there's out there. Whatever this was, it's still here. There are, you can say, well, this paper was redacted, and this said this, and they said that. It's all fine and well, but at the end of the day, this is still here. Whatever was on that ship is still here. And I guess getting to the bottom of that has become a mission, in the life of, like I said, it's not one that I took on. I was handed. I really have no choice. And my sister and brother are in the same position, that we have no choice but to live this life and to continue on. My grandfather and father started. Even out of respect for my father, he lived his life looking for something more, and now we're looking for something more. And that kind of, back at the beginning, I know what I saw, and that's right. Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to do it, and I might be kind of boring to some people, honestly, because I stick with the story. I stick with what I know, and what I can prove. And I do have a background in science myself. So if I can connect the dots in a scientific way or a method, then it's great. And so, if somebody comes up with something that's so far beyond the bounds of science and whatever, so I tend not to steer in those directions. But I try to stay with something a little more concrete, and I like to stay with stuff that's more based on what my father and grandfather passed on through generations. And believe me, there's a lot of information there alone. But I try to follow up and more, again, I'm in their footsteps. Me and my brother and sister in their footsteps, sister Denise, brother John. And the whole point is to, again, I love somebody on Facebook or something created a cartoon. It was my grandfather and my father, and 2 UFOs flying off, and my father handing a torch. It was apt, and that's kind of the way I feel about it. They pass it on, and it's really our responsibility to keep concrete, keep with the truth, and within the guise of what's possible and what happened and what they saw. Let's see where this takes us, and that's where we're going. Yes.
You and your brother or sister have children, I'm sure.
Yes.
And can you tell us how you share your story with them and how they feel?
They kind of back to my family. I have a daughter who's named Audrey, 11 years old. She has a mind that's amazing. If she wants something, she'll get it. She just was in Nutcracker. Absolutely. She's a singer. She was 11 years old. She was in the top 15 top singer in the United States for anybody over 18. And she's never had a lesson. She just, whatever, dancing. She meets the people. Well, what do you do here? What are you talking about? I go to school and I do this part-time. And with her, she looks at it and thinks, honestly, it's like, I want to be in front of people. I want to be a star. So this is going to make me a star. That's going to happen. My son is much quieter. A genius. I met with somebody in my school, the principal one time, he came and said, come here. He's like, we've got to talk about your son. I'm like, good. What's going on? He said, your son's the smartest kid we've ever seen. And he's like, we do it, and I do that stuff. So we have no idea how smart he is. And it's true, he's stupid. He teaches me things. I go, maybe it's not there, but really it skips a generation. But my father was a genius, my son's a genius, no question about it. And I sum it up, he said, Marcel, we're weird. That's everything. That's Roswell death. Some things go out there, and some of the teachers like, oh, well, Jesse, Marcel, do anything about Roswell? And because I've always kind of held back a little bit, I want parents to keep their kids away from that child because they're a little different kind of thing. But it's different. Today is different. Like I found myself signing books to teachers, meeting with parents, and everybody just embraced it. I remember playing to school to pick up my son and daughter. Kids would be banging on the window. Hey, did you see the latest Independence Day? There's a part of Roswell in it. And so, to answer your question, it's like kids embrace this stuff. I mean, you couldn't go through, dating Einstein, through the cartoons, through, basically, the preteen TV shows. They all have alien stuff in them. Every single thing has something about it. So it's natural. It's not something. It's not even like, well.
It's like their time.
Exactly. It's not like, well, it's there or not. So, well, that's obvious. It's an emphasis. It's very obvious. And speaking of that, it's kind of interesting where the world is turning. Even 10 years ago, it was different. But today, it's like, well, it's like I want to believe. I want to believe. I need to believe. I want to see. It's like I come to a place of wanting to believe. You might need to prove it to me, but I'm looking for that truth. Instead of you're wacko, you're crazy, get back in the closet, get away from me, you're crazy. That has changed. In the last 10 years, I honestly, I don't think I've met anybody in the last 10 years and just in the derogatory. They might give me another what it could have been, and it's always interesting, and my usual comments are pretty simple. It's like, well, If it was that, my grandfather should have recognized that. And maybe he did, but if he did, then why did he carry the story through his kids? That part doesn't make sense to me. So again, I might be oversimplifying everything, but that's where I'm coming from. It's so gut simple what happened in Roswell because of my experiences through my grandfather and father. That I said, do you believe it? Well, of course I do. It's like, I believe what they believe is what he told me. I'm not saying, it's not 100%. Maybe it was something else. But, until I can be proved otherwise, I'm sticking with the story.
The reason I believe,
What's that?
I believe what happened, because the armed forces guys, they know the difference in a balloon and a UFO. That's all.
It's not kind of obvious. I mean, if everyone was such extent to prove this wasn't what people say it was, it's like, if they would have said nothing, if they said it was weather balloon and never said one more word, that would have been so much more powerful. But
Even a little kid can tell you, hey, man, that's fun. That.
that is like they said it was, like the raw targets were basically tinfoil with paper backing and balsam sticks. And my dad was saying, he's like, I had the X1, I think was right, hanging over my bed that I made out of tissue paper and balsam. I know the difference at 12. We always thought we should get some balsam and aluminum foil and a piece of metal and go show it to 1,000 11-year-olds. I guarantee you, can you tell which one's metal and which one's balsam? We're probably going to get a pretty good response. Yes.
I'm from Helena, and
You are?
I am. And my father was a patient from Government College.
Really?
Yes, and so that's how I got to know about Roswell.
Oh.
But my question is did your grandfather feel like his military career got shorted? Because I know you said your father went to become a colonel, but what did your grandfather become?
My grandfather, before he went to the military, he was
Like the highest rank, like after Roswell,
Colonel.
how was his career?
He was in colonel. He was actually given an escalation in his rank afterwards.
Oh.
But yeah, so he was part of what he went through as far as the military goes. He went through war. He went through his obviously he ended up retiring. Before he went to the war and before he was able to show up with company, he was a map maker originally. But he always told me stories of he and my dad. If you can imagine back in the day on the bayous in Louisiana, they would string together posts and go down the bayou and he fixed people's TVs and radios in their houses. They go, his father was sent on the bayou helping people. He got known for being, helping. And my grandfather always got into trouble as a kid because he'd spend every penny he could on the radio parts. Disappeared in the barn and trying to build a radio. That was kind of him. So, and then eventually after retiring, he kind of went back to that. He's a very simple man. He loved Sunday sports and tinkering things. He's a kid. He lived by it. He was a big ham radio operator. He had a huge shop with. As a kid, I loved the smells of southern Louisiana. It's kind of moldy, I think, but just that whole. That's why I grew up with it. It was really cool. Boxes of crates of old tubes and old equipment and stuff everywhere. And so he was the tinker. Yeah.
So I was wondering, what part of the Roswell story is that when this, as you know, when the UFO crashed, you had alien bodies on board, and perhaps one of them was alive and taken to the local hospital. Now, I know your father and your grandfather handled the material, but I'm just wondering, what did they hear or know about the situation with the recovery of alien bodies and what they possibly be alive? And what did they tell you about that?
All I can say was been told publicly. I think it's from public, but my grandfather said very specifically that the people that were involved in the second crash site with the aliens believe what they're telling you. But there was a certain area of safety, and even in my grandfather's life, where he wanted to protect his family. And although at one point he started talking more, and he kind of got in a certain break, all the way before he had passed away, and he asked that he was working to forget what he said, don't bring me out, because it kind of occurred to him that maybe something could happen to him could happen to us. And I don't know how realistic that really was, but it was definitely something he was worried about in his life. But again, he wouldn't say, he managed to keep himself arm's length by saying, believe him. So. Yes.
I read your father's book.
Yes.
And it's really fascinating talking about what he meant to grow up and have for you.
Yeah.
And your brother and sister. And one thing there is, he was really careful. He felt like you kids were a little bit afraid of going to the festivals.
That's my father. After my mother died, he got remarried, and it's actually those kids. They were scared. Their mother was kind of freaked out about Roswell and that kind of thing, and that kind of bled off to the kids. So they were worried that someone was going to grab them or snatch them if they went with them. So they weren't so much scared of the story. They don't think it was, Men in Black, or maybe somebody's going to grab them or something strange. So it was more of that, but it wasn't actually the three. I, my brother, and my sister, and we were kind of the original three kids in this whole thing. And they came along right before my grandfather passed away. So my two half sisters were born much later in time. So yeah.
I just wonder, why do you think that the Air Force and our government would want to hide this from us? I mean, why? We're capable of handling it. I mean, Ancient Aliens, the History Channel is extremely popular. So I don't understand why.
At the time, it was different. I mean, how we talked about it inside our family was basically like, it wasn't that people weren't ready to talk about life or something like that. It was more like, right out of a war, something came here, something crashed here, we didn't know what it was, we have no control over it. In other words, the highest power in our government could do anything to save us if this is true. And there was that. There's more of the idea of maintaining semblance in power, not in a negative way. It's basically we don't want to tell you about, we can't protect you or something besides from someone else. So that was in general. And then as you go along, it's like how far down the line do you turn around and say, "Oops, guys, there is something to this." And that's again oversimplifying. But that's kind of where you look at it, is that they're not, because, boy, believe me, there's a lot of people out in the government that believe in what's going to happen. But as far as being public about it, it's different. So, anything else? Oh, actually, that person in the very back first. Yeah.
I just wanted to mention, if you did, if your grandfather saw
Yes.
that, and it was real, so did the Creator. I mean, we have rights, right?
Sure.
And He is the one that gave us the rights, and He also is the one that sees everything that happens to humanity. And He also says that the earth is a witness also. So whatever happens to people, He's a witness to. And that's why you don't always have to be afraid, because He's still watching over the earth.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I just want to know what part of Louisiana was your grandfather from?
A little bit of Oklahoma, he grew up. And then by you go to the area down there?
We're from Lafayette.
Oh, okay. They grew up in several places. I wish I could tell the name of the nearest town, but one of my favorite stories was he'd go out and, again, with the radio parts. He'd spend his 30 cents that he made the last 3 months for radio parts, and his father got really upset with him. Why are you wasting your time? And they're forever tinker. But he had, I think there was 12 brothers and sisters by the time 6 of them passed away. But a very big family, he came from a very big family. My father my father and my mother, and when they grew up, my father had no brothers and sisters, and my mother had no brothers and sisters. So our family got a lot smaller quickly. Anything else from anybody?
Do you know any pieces that say that kept anyone?
I'm looking. That's all I can say. I mean, I believe there's stuff out there. I mean, whatever it is, it's out there. And, I want to find it. So, there's no reason not to believe there's stuff out there. Somebody might know something. Somebody might not realize what they have. You never know.
Your grandpa didn't have one yet,
Yeah.
So Leonard, you mentioned in your speech that this medal had some writing on it.
Yes.
So this medal from the crash had some writing on it. So can you describe that writing and say a little bit more about that?
Yeah, if you want to, this is a sales page, but I have replica I-beams besides the fact that if you just want to kind of take a look at it, they're laying around, and it has all the symbols on them. And it's always been kind of a mystery to what they meant. I was like bringing my grandfather's story, because I'd ask him, what does it say? And he said, well, maybe it's instructions on how to use the outdoor bathroom. But that's kind of what, so it's a mystery. I didn't get close to the answers. We don't have those answers, but I have some pretty good ideas what we've come up with so far. But that is one of the more interesting, I mean, outside of the idea that the aliens are crash site, but this idea of what this language might be or might represent is fascinating. But if you want to go down, there's samples of it, so you can take a look at it. Oh, okay.
Your grandfather said how much line debris they actually discovered out there?
He said that it would have taken approximately 5 troop transports, tactical gills to get it out there. So quite a bit. Some people, because the story of a Roman target, first of all, the balloons, they're made, the materials are made out of hot sun. Within about 4 or 5 days, turn to a black powder mush stuff. There's no longer, those are nothing to it. And in typical fashion, if you came across one of these things, they'd have a little tag saying, like, return to center, we'll pay $5 to bring what's left over the Roman target over to the base. Other than that, they're just throwing trash can. There was nothing very significant about it. There are devices that collect nuclear bomb signatures across the ocean. So they were up there with a mic listening. At the time they were completely top secret, but very simple, but nothing to the point where, like I said, they ended up in a trash can, in a single trash can, you can put the whole thing in it. So, like I said, it took almost 5 of these big troop transports to haul off. So, whatever it was belonged to it. That was just one of the crash sites.
How many crash sites were there?
There's 2 that people are very familiar with. The one where, not quite sure whatever it was came apart above the ground or after impacting the ground, and then several miles away was what the base of as the story goes, the crew and the crew compartment, that kind of thing. In our research, this is later on, actually, the last 10 years, there was debris brought up from somewhere else in the same area, but it was discovered that some firemen actually had it. The fire truck had barricaded one of the entrances to the area, and they had parts of it. And you go back to the map again, and it comes down to whatever. So that's the 3rd crash site. It could very well just been part of it came off and ended up here, and part of it here, and part over there. But it was the same kind of material. So there were. I'm familiar with the 3 of them at this point. So yes.
Let me talk about Roswell.
Yes.
Your grandfather is depicted as being quite anguished about all of this in his later years. Is that not the case?
Not at all.
Not at all.
It was like, it was for entertainment, but no, I never even once talked to him or had any anguish about this whatsoever. In fact, he'd light up when you talked about it. He's very, I mean, maybe not from the football game on Sunday, but he was interested, he was excited about it. He thought he was part of history, a good part of history, and that was very exciting. Anybody else like to sing that story?
Have you ever been to the crash site person?
No. I have my sister house, my dad had several times, but I'll go there soon enough, but yeah, I've never been out there. And all this time, it's kind of funny, I haven't, but just for whatever reason, something happened, so I was able to go out there. The time has come.
Yeah, just one more question. Sorry for this, but how large was the debris field at these crash sites? In other words, are we talking a couple of football fields? Is this metal close together? How far was the debris field spread on the ground?
Overall, over a mile, V-shaped. There's a defined impact point. A little bit of question about how deep that was. At least a meter, 3 feet deep, at least at its center, and then it went outwards. We still heard more debris in close, and up to about a mile away, they're still finding little bits and pieces. So most of it was within a quarter of a mile in that bad shape. There actually, somebody did some analysis of it and showed the amount of energy and impact to create that crater, and then to create all that debris and how far it's spread out. And then, basically said that I think at the end of the day there needed to be like 185 sets of these well-known targets to make up for what they found in the one crash sites. But the big thing is they were trying to figure out exactly the pattern and that kind of thing. But it's pretty much exactly what you think about it if something came down. I don't think it came apart in the sky. I think it hit the ground and came apart in a very high velocity. Yes.
Just talking about, you don't know why the government, had told us stuff. I remember watching Bill about Orson Welles.
Oh, yeah, Orson Welles.
And people freaked out.
Didn't go serious, the whole.
And, yeah, and they were getting hurt.
And there's probably some truth to that too. Less today than there was back in the day, but that are more scared of potentially what this means. There's life out there. And again, I think they're more worried that they're going to take us over, they're going to cause catastrophe. But if you look at science, it's like matter and energy, matter and energy, the same thing. Energy can matter. The resources, if you have science, you can turn energy into any matter you want. So the idea of coming to a planet taking resources doesn't make any sense. Science completely dispels that. It's kind of a myth. They're going to come here and take over. That we have something so valuable that they want. There's nothing that can't be recreated, if they want it. So.
It's funny to me because I'd be more worried about someone that was involved with the planning and what was done with nuclear bombs, not to know the difference between a balloon.
That's kind of scary. I've always said that. That's kind of scary thought. You can't determine between a balsam stick and it was an intelligence for a nuclear bombing program. That is kind of a scary thought about what was going on there.
Kind of a strange concept to change this story. Yes, we trust him with nuclear bombs over here, but you can't tell balloons.
Exactly. There's so many hours about this stuff, but you bring it all together. You look at the religious situations. Back to my father, he believes God's great. If he wanted life on other planets, do you think he couldn't do that? Whatever this is, the great creation of whatever that would be. And he's saying, it's like, are you limiting something you understand on the planet, or you think this is all there is? And you let, like, what if you have a chance to meet women? What way to learn something? What do they think about religion? What do they believe? They might be more in touch of with, who knows? It's just, I love to have a conversation, about, the big thing after science, that'd be worse than saying exactly, how you got here. But it's just all that, their philosophies. They're, I can't believe they're not benevolent. They've reached a level that we haven't yet. But we're getting closer, so.
What was your father's afterthoughts after the citizens disclosure and event in Washington? What kind of personal thoughts did you about that scenario, and did you think that it was going to work out?
Absolutely. I was thinking this when we did that. And when they, the first was he just gave the general story. And what was interesting, if I can plant myself in your question, is that we all gave our stories. My story was actually about my grandfather. He was missing a middle finger when we went fishing. That was always a commodity. And it was, Roswell was part of it, the people involved. And my father, at that point, it was kind of a change in his perception, thinking that, that maybe his kids looked at it a little different than he did, or his father and that kind of thing. I actually talked to my grandfather more about it than my mother, believe it or not. But it was those actually stood in my mind more than anything, just little things like that. But when he was asked to come and finish the congressional meeting, I think he took it as an honor that he was that person that ended up giving that story. And he really fell in love with the Congress people. They came out afterwards, and just the idea is like, after I've heard everything, I came here with questions, but listening to you, I can't believe there's not something to this. And some of them were already in that direction. Some were complete disbelievers, and they came out and they said, "This is just open a light." They said, "This is just, it's amazing." And I credit my father a lot of that he was able to speak in a way that you really couldn't question it. It was like he believed 100% what he was saying. He was very specific, and and again, you couldn't knock his credibility or his intelligence or just everything about him. I always remember the funniest thing. It's funny, but some people went after him when I was a kid, and their biggest thing they could ever find out my father was he used to ride motorcycles, so what? He was a mountain climber. That's the most they could say. This guy must be awful because that's him. Not most I'm proud of it, that stuff. But I mean, literally, when people try and again, you can't get the stories to attack the person. They try to attack the person. The only thing that affected my father greatly was there was actually a time in the late '80s where the government came out and said my grandfather was never in the military, and that pushed my dad really much. And he went. He was pretty upset, and they retracted the story pretty soon. But they actually went to the Pentagon. But because they said that this whole story of Roswell was a myth. Maybe Jesse Marcel was never in the military, but it was screwed that way. Another story that came out briefly.
Sorry. What about, over the years, as you were growing up, I'm sure people maybe that were either affiliated with the incident or maybe their relatives or contacted them, and did you get inquiries or anything like that, or?
We knew we were being watched. We knew that people were listening. I mean, and it wasn't hidden. So it's not like, oh, you think you're paranoid. My father would be on a conversation, just a quick thing, setting up us, we're all going to Disneyland, squeezing the phone, sitting at the reservations, getting in the hotel room. He came home and said, something interesting happened. I hung up the phone after I got arrested in the hotel, and I got a call 2 minutes later saying they wanted to meet with me in LA because they understood I was going to be in room 132 of this hotel. It's like, it wasn't a conspiracy. It was like, it wasn't hidden. It was just like, yeah, they're part of our life.
What did you find out in your life now?
All I can say is that, I hate to be fringy or based on conspiracy. Things have happened that don't make sense. That you could easily say, well, it must be because somebody's doing this. And it could be something else though. But I don't know how much again, this is me talking without any proof, but I almost think the government's ready to get us out. They want it out. And it's a method of how they're going to get it out. It's going to be interesting. And I almost think, again, it's not even talking, but I might be one of the vehicles they use to start letting it out. But I really, it's not just purely based on fiction. I mean, there's actually some reality in what I'm saying. But I really think that, again, some of the players are ready to start coming out. I'm not speaking my brothers, but as representing, that story. So.
All right, thank you.
Sure.